Hey everyone, today I'm back in Lipetsk in my village, and I got proof of that by the stupid dog barking. But my wife is here, and we went. She needs to have some procedure done. She's got some issues. And we went to the bigger village, and they said, you need to go to this other small village. Went to the small village, and they said, oh, we can do it here. There's one in your village. So there's an actual clinic, and it's just like a house. Literally, it's a house that has been made to a clinic. There's one doctor that works every day, even Saturdays, and that's where she is now, getting her treatment for like 10 days. So that's what we're doing. So I thought I would give you a little short walk in my village. So here I am. Love the village decorations. Just can't get enough of all the magical things they seem to figure out what to do with tires. Now I will tell you, as funny as it is, when I was a child in the late 70s, my dad did the same thing with the stupid tires. He would take them just like that, and he would cut the top, and the top would be open like a flower. It was the most redneck thing I've ever seen. Of course, till I come here, and I see it everywhere. But the village, and a lot of my Moscow friends make fun of the village, but I don't care. I like the village. A little cafe. More decorative tires. And everybody in Russia has a fence. Not all of them are nice, but it's interesting because we'll go buy some houses that are really nice. And then these houses are typical old, poor Russian village houses. There you got chickens. Now here, coming up, is community center of some sorts. I know they do parades and stuff on certain holidays. They do stuff here. Now I really can't tell you how big my village is. It was big enough at one time to have a school, and it has a church. Now the school has been consolidated to 3 or 4 other villages, of course, because most of the rural areas in Russia are dying. Well, I would say they're dying, but they're turning into something different. Of course, and this has got nothing to do with the war. This has been happening for a long time. U.S. went through the same process a long time ago, 20 plus years ago, when our society turned into, I forget what they call it, financial capitalism, pretty much where we don't build anything, was buy and sell everything. And in the US, of course, all the factories started closing down. And so all the small towns also died, and that's the same in Russia. All of the factories died, and so the small villages died. And of course, if there's no jobs, then the young people have no reason to live in the small villages, so they all swarm to the cities, mostly Moscow, St. Petersburg. You have all the bigger ones that everyone lives in. And so all the villages, the schools close, consolidate, the churches, no financial support for the churches, so they start to deteriorate. Nice fall day. Now here is kind of what's left of the main street, if you want to call it that. So there's our post office. Believe it or not, that is still a running post office. The entrance is to the right, not the left. The left is just abandoned. But the post office only works, I believe, 3 days a week. Here you can see my church in the background. So there's the church back there. And here is the government building. Well, the mayor, or I don't know what you call the person in charge of a village. That's their office. I've been in there several times. Here's our pathetic playground from, looks like 1972. I'm kidding. Unfortunately, it's much newer than that. It still looks that old. And then here is our one grocery store for the whole village. But in reality, most people don't stop by here. I can't say that. People do. Usually to get milk. Things that you need to last until you get to on your way to work or something and get to bigger stuff. And I love their hours here because let me tell you, I can't tell you how many times I've been here and they've been closed. So the new trend in villages like this, and you're going to see it coming up, is those who do have a nice income and work in the city, in the concrete jungle, as you will, they have their apartments, and it's where they go to school. And then instead of having the old dachas, which are really, really small houses, and they come to them on the weekend, holidays, have their garden that they grow in the summer. It's kind of strange. They'll live in these apartments in the city, and then they have what I call weekend palaces. So you have houses like this. Very nice and big. And I can tell it's got a separate banya building here. So you can see the chimney. I mean, it's a very nice house. And most of them, not all of them, most of them, they don't live here during the week. They're only here during the weekends. Or sometimes in the summer, they'll stay longer. And you know they have a little bit of money because they paved themselves. They paid for this. They actually paved the portion of the road in front of their house. Interesting. And then something else that's, I wouldn't say common. I guess common. There's several of them in this neighborhood. And I see them when I drive in the rural area too. You'll see someone bought the land or inherited the land, had the land, built a skeleton of a house, nice house, the garage, big land, and then did nothing. It's been sitting like this since the day that I came to this village. Very strange. Run out of money? I have no idea. But it's got lots of land. And now we're coming up to it's kind of weird. These two houses were built. I don't know if they're family members or what. But this guy who we've talked to, and he is exactly what I said. And he's the one we had a big conversation with about he's only here on weekends. Both of these people are only here on weekends. Now you can start to see the horizon. This goes as far as the eye can see. Just trees. But these two houses are very nice. And I mean, they're not identical by any means, but you can tell they kind of built this together. I mean, they have separate fences, separate houses, but the garages are the exact same. But their houses are different, so like I said, something tells me they're related somehow. And I really like this little garage here because it's a garage, but then I am quite certain it's a banya, a barbecue area, because they also have a second house behind it. Ooh, I bet that one is a barbecue area. Very nice. And this one's a log cabin design. But very nice. And of course they only do the expensive fence up front. Alright, coming down my street. Well, half the street. Really love this house. Very gothic looking. It's obviously been here for a while, but I love how they have statues and a vineyard. But like I said, here in the village, so you have a house like that, then you have a house like this little pink house. So my understanding is, by the way, look how good our road is. So this house on the left here, and then my house is next to it. But here, they're gonna tear that house down or do something here because they built this garage, and on the other side of the garage is a banya, like a little cooking area. So eventually they're gonna tear down the little house, but they wanted to build this first. So here it is. There's Vasily working on his tractor, getting it ready for the winter. And here's what I have cut like 5 million times. I gotta cut again. So the story as I know it, this little house here, where Vasily and his dad, who's like 90, lives, and this place here, and then all the way over here was all one big family. Somewhere in the line, these two are cousins, brothers, I'm not sure which, some form of relative. They divided, this was the original property, so they got the original property. Then they gave this land to some relative. He built this house, and now he's got a son, and he gave the land over here to him. And you can see in the distance they're building a house there, which is very ironic because this man was so angry. You can see these tires he put here. He was so angry at us, and I understand his anger because we kept bringing heavy duty trucks in here, and they were making it so muddy he couldn't get into his house. And so he got really mad and doesn't like us, doesn't talk to us. Now Vasily's a really good friend. In fact, he's coming over for dinner tonight. And here's ours. And so I think it's funny and ironic because two things happened. One, you see this little green trash can. That's where we all put our trash. And big, huge, massive trash truck comes down here and picks it up. You can see the big tire marks from it. Does a circle, picks it up. So now he can't be mad at us. This big ass truck comes down here and does it. And his relative over here had massive trucks bringing all kinds of bricks and material doing the same thing. So it's a nice bus they decided to use for a fence. I hope they get rid of that. So he really can't be mad. So we're hoping. We've been waiting until we were finished, and now we'll wait till he's finished. Once it's finished, we want to go to the village, and we've already talked to him, the little office I showed you, and complain that there's no reason we don't have a road. It's like, at least freaking gravel it. I mean, it's just mud. And right now it's October, it's not so bad. But let me tell you, we had deliveries in November last year, and it was so muddy. The truck would stop back there, and they couldn't come this any further. We had at least 2 deliveries that we had to. We use the same company most of the time that does deliveries. They said we're gonna have to wait, and they had to wait until early in December for the first hard freeze. And when the hard freeze came, then they came and made the delivery, because the ground was not, 8 inches of mud. So we have not made much progress on my house, as much as I would like. But we're getting there. We bought all the material over there to do the driveway. We still have a lot of work. We're trying to buy material that doesn't, go bad. It's brick, because inflation, not just the world, but especially in Russia, seems to be going up. Everything is costing more at every season. So we decided to buy all the material that we could buy that's not going to perish. It's what we did. And my garage is full of the material to do my terrace. Awning's already built. So I will do another video showing you all of that. So for now, that's my walk in the village. Now my wife's getting her procedure. She asked me if I wanted to wait, but we did it yesterday, and it was 2 hours. And I said, I'm not standing around for 2 hours, so I'll just walk back. But my next video, I'm going to show you my banya. Well, the progress.